Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Magnanatimirandasya Gananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Darati Swaparantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahagana Raghunathanvidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijanasahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitamscha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यरिष्यतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Srila Prabhupada, yes, that is now the case. Instead of one saintly king, there are many thousands of so-called kings who are looting the people's hard-earned money by income tax and other means. In the Vedic system, however, there was a way to keep the monarchy from degrading into tyranny. The monarch was guided by a council of learned men, Brahmanas, great saintly persons. Even Maharaj Yudhishthira and Lord Ramachandra were guided by Brahmanas. It was the duty of the monarchs to act according to the decisions of the learned scholars, Brahmanas, and sadhus, saintly persons. When Vena Maharaj, when when Vena Maharaj was not ruling properly, the Brahmanas came and advised him to act otherwise. When he refused, they cursed him and he died. The great Prithu Maharaj was his son. A great sage is required to occupy the role of a monarch. Then everything is perfect in government. The present democratic system are ludicrous because they are composed of rascals who simply bribe one another. When they attain their post, they plunder and take bribes. If the head of the state can understand Bhagavad Gita, his government will be automatically perfect. Formerly, Bhagavad Gita was explained to the monarchs for that reason. Imam Raja Risho Vidu. Imam Raja Rishayo Vidu. Bhagavad Gita 4.2. Shoma Sundar Das. Plato's system was somewhat democratic in that he felt that everyone should be given a chance to occupy the different posts. Prabhupada. You can also say that we are democratic because we are giving the lowest Chandal a chance to become a Brahmana by becoming Krishna conscious. As soon as one becomes Krishna conscious, he can be elevated to the highest position, even though he may be born in a family of Chandalas. Aho Batab Svapachuto Gariyan Yajjihvagre Vartate Nama Tubhyam Te Pustapaste Juhbuh Sasnur Arya Brahmanuchurnama Grananti Yete. O my Lord, a person who is chanting your holy name, although born of a low family like that of a Chandala, Dog eater is situated on the highest platform of self-realization. Such a person must have performed all kinds of penances and sacrifices according to Vedic rituals and studied the Vedic literatures many, many times after taking his bath in all the holy places of pilgrimage. Such a person is considered to be the best of the Aryan family. Hare Krishna Vivek Prabhu Dandat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Also in Bhagavad Gita, it is stated, Mamhi Partha Vyapashritya Ye Pishu Papayonaya Striyo Vaishyastata Shudras Te Piyanti Param Gatim. O son of Pritha, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth, women, Vaishyas, merchants, as well as Shudras workers, can approach the supreme destination. Bhagavad Gita 9:32. Krishna says that everyone can go back home, back to Godhead. Samoham sarva bhutesu. I am equal to everyone. Everyone can come to me. Bhagavad Gita 9:29. There is no hindrance. Plato believed that the state should train its citizens to become virtuous. According to his system of education, the first 3 years of life were spent playing and training the body. From age 3 to 6, the children were taught religious stories. From 7 to 10, they were taught gymnastics. From 10 to 13, reading and writing. From 14 to 16, poetry and music. From 16 to 18, mathematics, and from 18 to 20, military drill. From that time on, those who were scientific and philosophical remained in school until they were 35. 35. If they were warriors, they engaged in military exercises. Srila Prabhupada. Was this educational program for all men, or were there different types of education for different men? Shama Sundar. No, this applied to all. Prabhupada. Oh, this is not desirable. If a boy is intelligent and inclined to philosophy and theology, why should he be made to take military training? Shama Sundar. Well, according to Plato's system, everyone took 2 years of military drill. Srila Prabhupada. But why waste 2 years? We cannot even waste 2 days. This type of education was designed in order to determine a person's category. It is not that one belongs to a particular class according to qualifications. Yes, we also say that, but that tendency or disposition is to be ascertained by the spiritual master, by the teacher who trains the boy. The teacher should be able to see whether a boy is fit for military training, for administration, or for philosophy. It is not that everyone should take the same training. One should be trained fully according to his particular tendency. If a boy is by nature inclined to philosophical study, why should he waste his time in the military? And if he is by nature inclined to military training, why should he waste his time with other studies? Arjuna belonged to a Kshatriya family, and this family was trained in military. The Pandavas were never trained as philosophers. Dronacharya was their master and teacher, and although he was a Brahmana, he taught the military science, not Brahma Vidya. Brahma Vidya is theology, philosophy. It is not that everyone should be trained in everything. That is waste of time. If a student is inclined toward production, business, or agriculture, he should be trained in those fields. If he's philosophical, he should be trained as a philosopher. If he's militaristic, he should be trained as a warrior. And if he's simply dull, he should remain a Shudra, a laborer. These four classes are selected by their symptoms and qualifications. Narada Muni also says that one should be selected according to qualifications. Even if one is born in a Brahmana family, he should be considered a Shudra if his qualifications are such. And if one is born in a Shudra family, he should be considered a Brahmana if his symptoms are Brahminical. It is not that everyone should be regarded in the same way. The spiritual master should be expert enough to recognize the tendencies of the student and the student should immediately be trained in that line. This will bring about perfection. According to Plato's system, this tendency won't emerge unless one practices everything. Prabhupada, no, that is wrong because the soul is continuous. Therefore, the soul retains some tendencies from his previous birth. According to Vedic culture, immediately after boy's birth, astrological calculations were made. Astrology can help if there is a first-class astrologer who can tell what line a boy is coming from and how he should be trained. Of course, logical and physical symptoms are considered. If a boy does not fulfill the roles assigned, he can be transferred to another class. Generally, it is ascertained from birth whether a child has a particular tendency, but this tendency may change according to circumstances. Someone may have Brahminical training in a previous birth, and the symptoms may be exhibited, but he should not think that because he has taken birth in a Brahmana family that he is automatically a Brahmana. It is not a question of birth, but a qualification. Then, what would you say is the purpose of the state, of all the social orders and the state government? Prabhupada, the ultimate purpose is to make everyone Krishna conscious. That is the perfection of life. The entire social structure should be molded with that aim in view. With this aim in view. Of course, this is not possible for everyone. All students in a university do not receive the PhD degree. But the idea of perfection is to pass the PhD examination. The professor of the university should be maintained, although there are not many high-caliber students to pass their classes. It is not that the university should close its higher classes. Similarly, an institution like this Krishna Consciousness Society should be maintained to make at least a small percentage of the population Krishna conscious. Haribol. Prabhu, do you want to continue?
For 5 minutes, I will be back to you. Like
Yes,
I'm hearing, I'm 5 minutes.
Shama Sundar Das. So the goal of government should be to enable everyone to become Krishna conscious. Srila Prabhupada. Yes, Krishna consciousness is the highest goal. Everyone should help and take advantage of this. Regardless of our social position, we can come to the temple and worship God. The instructions are for everyone, and prasadam is distributed to everyone. Therefore, there is no difficulty. Everyone can contribute to this Krishna conscious movement. The Brahmanas can contribute their intelligence, the Kshatriyas, their charity, the Vaishyas, grains, milk, fruits, and flowers, and the Shudras, bodily service. By such joint cooperation, everyone attains the same goal, that has perfection. Haribol. Hare Krishna, Varun Prabhu, Naam Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Varun Prabhu, Nandat Mangesh Prabhu.
Haribol, Haribol. Prabhu, do you want to read?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Okay, you can start this about this person.
Aristotle.
Yes, Prabhu. I don't know please, but where is he from? Greek or which country?
Greek, Prabhu. I
Nice.
think.
Okay, let's see what is his philosophy.
I agree with Asa. Plato made a sharp distinction between the material and spiritual universe. But this dualism is not expressed by Aristotle, since matter is simply one of God's energies. The finite reflects the infinite. Matter is a potency in the process of realizing itself. Srila Prabhupada. Aristotle may know something of God energy, but our point is that we can know everything about God from God Himself. Then our knowledge is perfect. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Mai Ashakta Manha Pratapartha Yogam Yunja Mada Ashraya Ashamshayam Samagram Mama Yatha Jnana Chranu. And now you hear, son of Partha, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full free from doubts. This is the process of Krishna consciousness. Of course, we may speculate about God, and if we just think of God, that will help to some extent. If we are in darkness, we may speculate and concoct ideas about the sun. This is one kind of knowledge. However, if we come out of the darkness and see the sun, if we come to the light, our knowledge is complete. We may contemplate the sun in darkness, but the best is to come into the sunshine and see for ourselves. I agree with us. Aristotle doesn't not believe does not believe that material objects are trying to realize God, as Plato does, but the God is realized himself through material object, and God does this is in a this, this in a variegated and infinite way. God realizes the potentiality of a flower or of a man by creating a flower or a man perceivable by the material sense. So, in a sense, the world is more real to Aristotle than a Plato. Srila Prabhupada, since God has created the material world with all its variety, He is in full awareness of how to act properly. That is God's perfection. He know how to do everything perfectly and in a natural way. A child naturally know how to put food into his mouth. He does not have learned to this. God knowledge of everything is already there. It is not that he has to receive this knowledge, although some sort or by creating. He is already full aware of these things. He doesn't have to realize himself of his potential through matter. I agree with us. Aristotle would say that a flower is really because it has its basis in the ultimate reality, God. Srila Prabhupada, if God is the ultimate reality, if God is the ultimate reality, how is it he is not in full of knowledge of full knowledge of everything at all times? There is no question of realizing himself through matter. I agree with us. Plato would say that a flower is but a shadow of reality. Which point of view would be closer in the Vedic version? Srila Prabhupada. Whatever is in the material world is but a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. It is our experience that in the material world objects are created, but in the spiritual world nothing is created. Everything is there everlastingly. Sham Sundardas. Aristotle say that imperfection is inherent in the substance matter because man is made of matter. He must be imperfect. Srila Prabhupada, man is not made of matter but is covered by matter. Man is made of spirit. If God is spirit, man is also spirit. In the Bible, it is also said that man is made in the image of God. Therefore, man is originally perfect. A person is generally supposed to be healthy, but if falls into a diseased condition, it is not that imperfection. It is something external that has attacked a healthy man according to his original nature. Man is healthy. Wow. Sham Sundar Das. For Aristo, the goal of action is to realize our potential and attain the greatest happiness or pleasure. Since God created man for self-realization, it is realization that will bring him satisfaction. Srila Prabhupada. This means that in the beginning, God created man imperfect. Otherwise, why is there need for self-realization? Sham Sundardas. A piece of wood has the potential to become fire is not fire until it is kindled. Kindled. Man is similar. Srila Prabhupada, we say that the living entity is part and parcel of God. And if God is all good, the living entity is also all good. A part of gold cannot be iron. It also must be gold. However, the part is not equal to the whole. A gold earring is also gold, but is not as great as the gold mine. Nevertheless, the quality of the gold earring and the quality of gold in the gold mine are the same. If God is perfect, the living entity living entity must also be perfect in quality. If God has the quality of goodness, the living entity must have it also. Why should he be imperfect? That would indicate that God is unjust. Why should God create something that has to come the perfect perfectional point by realization? Ram Sundar Das. Aristotle would say that the activities of the mind are pure and perfect, but those of the bodies and matter are impure and imperfect. Therefore, one must realize themselves through the activities of the mind alone. No, the mind is never perfect. The mind's business is to accept this and reject part, and therefore it is very flickering. The mind is subtle than the body, but the mind is not the soul, or nor is the mind perfect. Above the mind is there is an intelligence, and above the intelligence there is the soul. The soul is perfect in the quality, and it has all the qualities of God in minute quantity. Sham Sundar Das. By mind, Aristo means the rational faculty of intelligence. Srila Prabhupada. Intelligence is of the mind. Intelligence control the mind, and intelligence of the soul. Therefore, the whole background is the soul. Sham Sundar Das. The mind must act or contemplate in accordance with logic. Logic is defined as the method of drawing correct reference. Srila Prabhupada. The mind may logically accept something and again logically reject it. Where then is perfect logic? Sham Sundar Das. Perfect logic is simple method for finding the truth. Srila Prabhupada. But the mind is constantly accepting the rejecting. How can it ascertain the truth according to the logic? If our authority is the mind, does this mean that the mind of everyone is an authority? The mind will constantly research, but it will never be successful because the truth is beyond its reach. A follower of the Vedas does not accept this speculative method as the path to truth or perfection. Yes, I agree, Das. For both Plato and Aristotle, God is known by reason, not by revelation or religious experiences. Srila Prabhupada, we all are, we all, we we are all limited, and God is unlimited. Therefore, we cannot understand God by our limited sensory power. Consequently, God must be known by revelation. But Aristotle say not by revelation. But Prabhupada say God must be known by revelation.
Yes, Prabhu.
अतः श्री कृष्ण नामादि न भवेत ग्रहम इंद्रियाः सेवन मुखे ही जीवादो सेवम एवा स्फुरते अधः. Material senses cannot appreciate Krishna's holy name, form, quality, and pastime. When a conditioned soul is awakened to Krishna consciousness and renders service to by his tongue to chant the Lord's name and taste the elements of the Lord's food, the tongue is purified and one gradually comes to understand who Krishna really is. Bhakti Ramas Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. It is not possible to know about by mental speculation. When we engage in his service, he reveals himself. Shri Krishna says, नाहं प्रकाश सर्वस्य योगमया समावत मूढ़ो यम नवा नाभिजानाति लोकम अजम अवययम्. I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent, for that I am covered by eternal creative potency, yoga maya, and so the deluded word know me not, who am unborn and infallible. Bhagavad Gita 7.25. It is a fact that unless God reveals himself, he is not known. Therefore, he appear and great authority like Vyasadeva, Narada, Sukadeva, Goswami, Ramanuvacharya, Madhavacharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Great scholars and transcendentalists accept he reveals himself. Arjun saw God face to face and he accepted him. When we are freed by our service, God reveals himself. I agree with Asa. Well, Aristotle emphasized man's use of reason and he see man's happiness depending on acting in a rational way, which is the way of virtue and intellectual insight. There is a suggestion of senses control, but no bhakti. It is possible to attain happiness simply by controlling the sense with the mind. Srila Prabhupada. Yes, and that is the process of becoming a human. Animal are ignorant of this process and they act only for their sense gratification. Their only business is eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Through proper guidance, a human being can engage in contemplation, but he should be guided by authorities. Otherwise, he may contemplate with his limited senses for many millions of years and not be able to understand them. I agree with Asa, but for happiness or ananda isn't bhakti essential? Srila Prabhupada. God is full ananda, full bliss, Satchidananda. He is eternal and in full of knowledge of everything. Unless we come in contact with God, there is no question of ananda. Rasovasaha. From the Vedic literature, we understand that God is the ultimate receiver of all pleasure. Constantly, where we come in contact with God, we will taste the pleasure. Material pleasure is only a perverted reflection of the real pleasure. Sham Sundar Das, rather than personal guidance, Aristo emphasized rational logic. Srila Prabhupada, Sham rather than personal guidance, Aristo emphasized rational logic. Yes, but Prabhupada, yes, but when you are guided, you have to sacrifice your logic to accept the superior logic of your guide. Sham Sundar Das. He felt that the mind can be its own guide. Srila Prabhupada. As I said, the mind will carry you this way, and that in Bhagavad Gita, Arjun say the mind is more difficult to control the than the wind. If a horse is not controlled, if it is allowed to run at will, it will cause some disaster. Where the horse is guided, it can take you to your destination. We should therefore know how to control the mind by the intelligence. Hmm. Sham Sundar Das. But because the mind is an aspect of God, we find our perfection or happiness in the contemplation of God. Srila Prabhupada. Everything is in aspect of God. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna point out that he has eight separated energies. So why stress the minds? Because we have lost God's association. We are all searching after Him. We are struggling, but we don't know why. This is due to ignorance. If by God fortune so if by good fortune we chance to meet a bona fide guru, that guru can inform us you are searching after God. This is the way you only have to follow. It is then that we can become happy. Sham Sundar. Aristo believed that the truth is inherent, inherent within everything. For him, truth is the agreement of knowledge with reality. It is correspond with things in the objective world. Srila Prabhupada, if truth is within everything, then it must be drawn out. However, it is not drawn out by matter, but by spirit. This means that the help of a superior energy is necessary. According to Bhagavad Gita, the living entity is the superior energy and matter is the inferior. It is the inferior energy that must be controlled by the superior. Both God both God and the living entities are eternal, but God is the supreme eternal. Living entities are Nityas Krishna Dasa, eternal servant of God. When they tend to disobey God, they suffer. If we want to use our logic, we can understand that through our independent action we have failed. Therefore, we must take advice of superior intelligence. The advice is given in Bhagavad Gita is not that we can attain the truth through our own independent speculation. We have want to know who our father is. May we speculate forever, but it's much simpler to ask our mother. Otherwise, we may go on searching and searching for millions of years and never know what is the point in all this vain search. We should conclude the insofar as we are in the as so far in the material and illusory condition is our duty to take help from God or His representative who does not set forth anything that is not originally spoken by God. For instead, God says, "Surrender unto me," and God representative says, "Surrender unto God." If a rascal say, "I am God," he should be kicked. The living entities are part and parcel of God, and part can never become the whole. A real representative of God acknowledge himself as a servant of God, and he requires everyone to surrender unto God. For perfect knowledge, we have to take guidance either directly from God as Arjun did or from God's representative, then we will be successful in ascertaining the truth. I agree. Aristo outlined three different conception of the soul. One of the soul itself a separate substance to the bodies, but the instrument of the soul. And three, the soul is the actual form of the body. Srila Prabhupada. The body is like the cloth of the soul, and our clothes are designed to fit our body. A coat has arms because we have arms, and pants have legs because we have legs. So their body is like the coat and pants of the soul. And since the body has form, and the soul also has the same form. The cloth, which is the body, originally has no shape, but when it comes into the contact with the soul, it's assumed a shape. Shamsul. It's appear that Aristo equates the soul with the intelligence. The soul has intelligence, but his intelligence is misused. If it is limited to the mind, the intelligence should rise above the mind. The mind is superior to gross matter. The intelligence is superior to the mind, and the soul is superior to the intelligence. Superior to the soul is the ultimate cause of the soul, the supreme Lord. Sham Sundar. Because he equate the soul's immortality with the reason. Aristotle believed that it is only the rational soul, the human soul, that is the emotional. Animal also have soul, but he has so them limited to sense, desire, and animation. Srila Prabhupada. Animals are also rational. If a dog enter my room and I say out, the dog immediately understands the goes away. How can we say that there is no rationality at work? If I place my finger before an ant, and ant will turn away immediately. If you gave a cow meat, then the cow will not touch it. The cow understand that its food consists of the grass and grain. Animal have rationality, but one accept of nationality is lacking. An animal cannot think of God. This is the main difference between animal and a man. A man rationality is so developed that he can think of God, where an animal cannot. But we should not think that soul of animal are not immortal. This theory has given the Christians basis of killing animals, but they cannot prove that an animal soul is irrational or mortal. A man eats, sleep, defend, and mates. An animal does the same. So what is the difference? Shamsundar Das. Perhaps the difference is one of the mental activity, and man has the capacity of think it's more complicated way. Srila Prabhupada. But mental activity means accepting the rejecting. Animals is also accept and reject. Therefore, they have mental activities. Sham Sundar. But what about developed intelligence? Srila Prabhupada. Of course, man has more highly developed intelligence, but we should not think that an animal has no intelligence at all. The father has more intelligence than his small child, but he becomes the child has not. This is because the child has not grown to attain the standard. Similarly, an animal is making progress of the evolutionary scale. It is has intelligence, but it is not highly developed. Plant, animal, and when possess consciousness, it has been proven by Dr. Jagadish Chandra Bose that are three conscious of your cutting it. However, the tree does not feel it very much if it's an animal. The animal feels more, and if you hit a man feel it even more than an animal. It is a question of development consciousness of de- developed intelligence. That development has to do within the body. As soon as you receive the body of the tree, your consciousness is plugged up. It is not so active. When you attain the human form, consciousness is more developed, and the developed consciousness should be further developed so that you can come to Krishna consciousness, which is the highest perfection of the living entity. Ram Sundar Das. Aristotle, convinced of the soul is having a dual nature. There is an individual soul which awaken at the birth and acquire impression during one's lifetime. Thus, discover, develop, but it is not eternal. It is subject to the conditioning. It is like soul of animal. Then there is also rational soul, the active soul, which is eternal though not perfect. This is man's motivating principle and purpose for living. Srila Prabhupada. Krishna is the eternal, changeless soul. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tell Arjun, Bahuni me vayatitani janmani tava Arjuna tanne aham veda sarvani na tvam etta parantapaha. Many birth of I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot. O subdue of the enemy. That is the real meaning of eternity. Eternal knowledge. Thus, there are two kind of soul: the super soul, Paramatma, who is Krishna himself, and the ordinary soul, Jiva, which is possessed by every living entity. Sam Sundar. For Aristotle, the rational soul is eternal, yet say that is not imperfect. Srila Prabhupada. This means that he has to accept two soul, one perfect and rational, and another imperfect and irrational. The soul that is it's perfect and rational is Krishna, the super soul. Sham Sundaras, he doesn't say anything about the super soul accompanying the individual soul. Srila Prabhupada. This is because he doesn't not know. He suggests that there is a dual nature, but he has no idea that dual nature he is referred to is not of the soul but the mind. The soul is one. When you are on the mental platform, it's appear that soul has dual nature. But when the soul perfection is attained, you think only of Krishna. There is no question of duality. I agree with that. In politic, Aristotle writes the beauty of the body is seen, but the beauty of the soul is not seen. It, is this true? Srila Prabhupada, the beauty of the soul is real, and the beauty of the body is superficial. In the material world, we see many ugly and many beautiful bodies, but here ugliness and beauty are artificial. The beauty of the soul, however, is a real, not artificial. Unless we see the beauty of the super soul, Krishna, we have no idea what actual beauty is. Therefore, the devotee wants to see the beauty of Krishna, not the artificial beauty of the material. I agree with us. Is there no correspondence between a beautiful body or a beautiful soul? Are not they linked by karma? Srila Prabhupada, there is some correspondence because we say that this material world is perverted reflection of the spiritual. Originally, the soul is beautiful, but here the beauty is covered. When we can only have a glimpse of the real beauty from the material covering, but we have to wait in order to see that actual beauty of soul. That beauty is the real form of the beauty body. I agree with us. It is said that Scrooge. What is this, Prabhu?
Socrates.
Socrates.
Yes, Prabhu.
Socrates. It is said that Socrates was physically ugly, but that he had a very beautiful soul, and constantly people were attacked to him. Srila Prabhupada. In India, it is said uh, that the quail is black and ugly like a crow, but when its song is so beautifully that people are attracted. The beauty of the body is secondary, and the beauty of the soul is a primary. A beautiful man who is full is beautiful only as long as he doesn't speak. As soon as he speak, we can understand his actual position. Essentially, external beauty is useless. If an ugly man speak well, he attract many people. And if a beautiful man speak nonsense, no one cares for him. Real attraction is one thing, and an artificial attraction is another. Shams Dakas. In in man's search for the truth and role of logic is paramount. According to Aristotle, principle of contradiction of a pro- proposition cannot be both true and false at the same time. Srila Prabhupada. This is on the relative platform. At one time we may accept something to be true, and another time we may reject it as untrue. On the mental platform, we cannot know what is the true and what is not. Here we can to learn the truth from the supreme truth. Truth is truth. It is not subject to speculation. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that after many lives of speculation, the man of wisdom surrender into the supreme truth. In the beginning, a man employ deductive logic, but in the end of the surrender, he comes to the conclusion Vasudeva Sarvamiti. God is everything. Therefore, I must surrender. There is the perfection and ultimate end of the mental processes of speculation. That is, speculation is abandoned. Abandoned. Shamshantadas. Aristotle more or less dies the process of Sankhya Yoga by analyzing subject and placing them in general categories. These categories becomes more and more general until more is the final goal of ultimate critic. Yes, Srila Prabhupada, yes, this is the process of unity by which one actually to attain Brahma by understanding what Brahma is not. This process one goes through the universe saying Neti is not Brahma. That is not Brahma. This is not true. True that is not true. It's the same inductive process. For instance, if you want to determine whether is the model, you may search from man to man and conclude with whether each man is mortal or not. In this way, you can go on in, indefinitely Definitely, seeing the all men are dying, why not accept the fact that man is mortal? In your attempt to find an immortal man, you are bound to be frustrated. You will only find mortality. This is the result of the neti process.
Ivo. Yes, thank you so much for reading.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, now we need to go to six Astakam prayers.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
चेतोदर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयः कैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणं विद्यावादुजीवनम् आनन्दं बुद्धिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतस्वादनं सर्वात्मा स्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम्
नाम्नामकारी बहुधा निजसर्वशक्तिस्तत्रार्पिता नियमितस्मरणे न कालः एतादृशी तव कृपः भगवन्नमापि दुर्दैवामि दृश्यमे नाग्नेन अनुरागः
तृणादपि सुनिचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना मामानेन मानदेन कीर्तनया सदा हरि
नतनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीशकामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवताद्भक्तिरहैतुकी त्वयि
ऐदन्तमेव किङ्करं पतितं मां विस्मये भवं विदो कृपया तव पादपङ्कजस्थूलीसदृशं विचिन्तया
नयनं गलदाशूरधराय वदनं गद्गदहृदया गिरा पुलकैर्निचिन्दं वपु कदा तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति
युगायितं निमेषेण चक्षुषा प्राविर्शायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे
आशिलस्यैवापादतां विनष्टु माम् अदर्शनां नमतां करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विदधातु लम्पटो मत्प्राणनतस्तु स एव न पर
Ribol. Okay, glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. The Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energy. There are not even hard and fast rule of chanting these names. Oh my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to be easily approached by you by your holy name. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all senses of all prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth.
O son of Maharaj Ananda, Krishna, I am your eternal servant. Yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of the birth and death. Please pick up me from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet.
O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up? And when will the hairs of my body stand on end and at the association of your name?
O Govinda, feeling your separations, I'm considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
I know no one but Krishna is my Lord, and she shall remain so even if he handle me roughly by his embrace of make me broken hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord, unconditionally.
Ribol, Sri Siksastakam Ki Jai.
Jai.
Hari
Okay, 10 offenses to the holy name. First offense, to blaspheme the devotees who had dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord.
Second, to consider the name of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or not independent of name of the Lord Vishnu.
Third offense, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master.
Fourth offense, to blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in persons to the Vedic version.
To consider the whole glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination.
Sixth offense, to give some interpretations to the holy name of the Lord.
Seventh offense, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name.
To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas are fruitive activities, karma kanda.
Ninth offense, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name.
10th offense, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve their desired success. Krishna Prema. Yascha kripa
Let us
Prabhu ki jai.
let us offer our humble obeisance to all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who are just like the desire tree. One can fulfill all desire and are full of compassion for the fallen conditions. Jai Vaishnav Thakur ki jai.
Bo jai. Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai, Jai.
पूरे प्रेमानंदे हरि बोल
Hari Hari Bol.